Hello, folks. Today I'm going to talk about David Benavidez. David Benavidez got invited to go to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to witness the Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol fight on February 22nd of this year. David Benavidez fought Dave Morrell on February 1st on a pay-per-view show where Dave Morrell received $500,000 plus a little back end on their pay-per-view. So he probably received $1 million for that fight. And I'm talking about Dave Morrell. Dave Benavidez's salary was 1.5 to 2 million plus a back end on the pay-per-view. So he receives somewhere around $2 to $3 million for that fight. So considering they have not been making money, that's a decent pay right there. $2 or $3 million is pretty decent. Dave Morrell has not been making no money. That's why Dave Morrell's been calling out everybody. Jesse Hart's been calling out David Benavidez. David Benavidez was supposed to fight Jesse Hart before he turned it down and switched to fight Dave Morrell. If David Benavidez would have fought Jesse Hart, David Benavidez would have knocked out Jesse Hart. I don't give Jesse Hart no chance against David Benavidez or David Morrell. Jesse Hart is a 35-year-old, 13-year vet with a 31-3 record. On his 3 losses, he got knocked out by Joe Smith Jr. and he got beat up by Zerto Ramirez in the other 2 fights. He has 155 rounds of fighting with a 77-inch reach. But the problem with Jesse Hart, he's not fighting. He's not active. If you're not active, you're not going to win. Jesse Hart has been calling out Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol too. He's looking for a title shot. He's looking to make money. But if he would have fought David Benavidez or he fights David Benavidez in the future, either way, it would have been a knockout. I don't see Jesse Hart winning any of those fights. And in the meantime, David Benavidez is going to be a guest over there in Saudi Arabia because he's going to get the winner of the Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. And if David Benavidez fight any one of those 2 fighters, I'm taking David Benavidez to beat him. He'll beat Artur Beterbiev. He'll beat Dmitry Bivol. A lot of these YouTubers that have their own channel that talks about boxing mentioned that David Benavidez don't have a chance against the 2 Russians. But I disagree. I believe he do have a chance, and I believe he is going to beat these 2 other Russians. And he's going to beat them easy. This is David Benavidez's time. The Russians had their time. Artur Beterbiev is 40 years old. He only has about 20-something fights. Dmitry Bivol, the same thing. He's 34, going on 35 with 20-something fights. They had their time. This is going to be the David Benavidez time. The problem is that David Benavidez does not want to fight in Saudi Arabia. He wants to fight in the U.S. But I'm hoping either way it goes, that these fights are going to get made. That they offered David Benavidez a lot of money. And the 2 Russians, the same thing, offer them money and make this fight happen. Hopefully, Beterbiev will win, and then you could match up David Benavidez with Beterbiev. If Dmitry Bivol wins, then that means Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev are going to fight on the 3rd fight to break the tiebreaker. But either way it goes, the 175-pound division is a good division. Has a lot of good fighters in there. And also has a lot of good fighters from the UK. A lot of European fighters. A lot of fights should be made between the UK, the Russians, and the Americans. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Give me your opinion about Dave Benavidez and also Dave Morrell fighting the two Russians or anybody else in that division. I like David Benavidez, and I also like Dave Morrell. I believe they're two good fighters. And I also became a fan of Dave Morrell when he fought Dave Benavidez. Like, share, subscribe, comment, give me your opinion. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.